Hi everyone. There had been several requests last few weeks on the forum how to update relationship fields in Adalo collections from outside, for example, from Integromat. So I decided to make a video to show how to do it from Integromat. The same principle could be applied to other tools. What I'm going to do, here is the app, the sample app I have. This is a screen, this is a user. What I'm going to do, this is a purely artificial collections relationships, but what I'm going to do, this will be a collection called examples. The example has the first field and it will have the relationship with users. So user can have multiple examples and one example belongs to one user. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to add the button here, and by clicking this button, an example should be created somewhere in other application. I will take Integromat, and the example should be connected to the logged in user. So add example. To see that the examples have been really added, I will add a list here. It will be a custom list, and it will be a list of examples which belong to logged in user. And here I will just leave the example name. This will be generated each time in Integromat. So, okay. And yes, final step, preparation step, that I need to set this list to auto refresh. Okay, so let's start creating this example in Integromat. So I have already created the empty integration scenario. So the first step will be a webhook. So as you can see, there are lots of modules in Integromat nowadays, and it takes some time for them to load. So I create the webhook. It will be a custom webhook. I will add a new one and call it add examples with relationships. So I have the address here, and as usual, when you're creating the scenario in Integromat, now make, you're switching between the two windows, one application window and Adalo app window and Integromat window. So let's go here. So I have add example button, and I need to create a custom action here. So in the custom action, you see I have a lot. So this is a new custom action. Let's call it Integromat examples connections. So here it will be a base URL, this webhook. Method will be post, and what I need to pass to Integromat action, to Integromat scenario, sorry. The thing is that as I'm going to link to the new records with the users, with a particular user, with logged in user, I need to somehow identify this user. For users collection, the easiest way to identify user is by his or her email, by user's email. For other collections, you need to use unique identifier, which you add manually. So here, for users, it's easier. The example will be, for example, and what we need to pass to the webhook is email and the value from the input. I assume that you know how to create custom actions here, so I'm not explaining this. Okay, let's run test request. So great, test successful. Here everything is finished. On the Integromat side, as you can see, the structure has been successfully determined. So now we know the email variable. We have the can map the email of user email here. So great. We have webhook. What's next? Next step gonna be to get the information about this user. So next step will be list records from Adalo. So here, let's go and open database and Adalo API documentation. So we need information to add users collection to Integromat. It takes, again, sometimes to load the API documentation. The larger the number of collections is, the longer it takes. Okay, here is it. We have users. First, let's take bearer token. Copy. Let's add a new collection. So this is the API key. Then we have application ID, it's here. And also we need a database collection ID, it's here. Okay, fantastic. Fantastic. So Adalo integration users. So yeah, the collection has been added. Let's increase the limit of number of records returned, because we need to list all records from users collection and find the correct one. So by the way, a good practice is to rename modules so that you understand what they do. Okay, next step, after we found the users, we need to create the record for the examples in the examples database. So again, this will be an add record, but we don't have this examples collection yet. So again, I need to add the connection in Integromat for that. So here is the examples collection. Examples, same bearer token, API key, application ID, copy, paste, and database collection ID, copy, paste. Okay, great. Continue. So now you will see that the Integromat will not return anything as values which could be added to integration examples. The reason is that this collection is empty and Adalo does not return anything for its structure. So what we need to do here, we need to add at least one record to the examples collection. So again, general advice. So, and we have a lot of users here. So let's just simply add test record 1. And again, now you see that there are two fields being returned with the when Integromat asks about the structure of this collection, name and user. If you compare here these fields with the fields in the collection, you see that we have two fields as well, two properties here as well. Name is a text property, user is a relation property. The thing is that if you have one-to-many relationship, so if there is only one user for each record of examples, you can update this relationship in Integromat. And how are we going to do that? We are going to put, well, name, it's really doesn't matter. We can put whatever. I don't know. Let's put it just some UUID. Yeah. And now we need to put user value here. Where do we get it from? We get it from list users collection. But list users will return all users which exist in the database. So between this, let's close this for a while. Between these two steps, we need to add a filter. Only need required correct. Only correct user. And the condition will be that you see this list records, we have email in the users collection, and this email should be equal to the email which we've got from the webhook. With this filter, the only record which will pass this filter will be the record which of the person, of the user who presses this add example button. So, and it will be only one record. And the final step, by the way, the final step here, I have almost finished creating the scenario. So this is, the name is whatever, and user, what we need to do, we need to put record ID. Record ID or ID is hidden from makers in Adalo interface, but you can get, this is an internal record ID, and this is unique for each record in the collection. So you can get this record ID through the API, and if you put this record ID, this is a ID of the user, into the relationship field, by that you will create the relation. So, and this is it. Let's run this once and run a preview here. So relationships via Integromat. So you see there's one record which I have already created. Add example. Let's have a look what's happening here. So first step, okay, email undefined. So this is what I forgot to do. I forgot to add the email field into the custom action. So my mistake, but which could be quickly corrected. And once again, run. So relationships using Integromat, add example. Let's have a look. Here we get the email, then we have list users, and you see there are lots of users here, and only one user passes the filter because we are filtering by email. And then this is the add example record, which this is the input and this is the output. So after adding a record, Adalo returns the value values which has been added. So you see that the values, all the values have been returned. So, and let's see, you see the record is added, and let's try it once again. Add example. It will take around 5 to 10 seconds, or even faster. And by the way, if we go log out and log in with another user, you will see that here we don't have any records. Yeah, by the way, I did not turn it on, so we can process existing, by the way. It will add record retroactively. So see, the record has been added, and another one in a moment. So I hope this was clear. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.